Blog Talk Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Diva of Days of Our Lives. Tonight we'll be discussing this past week's show. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at Diva of DOOL, and we're also on Facebook and iTunes. And check out all our interviews and all our shows. This is our 409th show that we've done. And I'm Marianne, and you can find me at mama_hooch. And we have Jen here tonight. Hi, Jen.
Hey, guys. I'm at REXJDK at Twitter.
And Nikki is here. Hi, Nikki.
Hey, guys. You can find me at Leanne Hunley Fans on Instagram.
Instagram, yes. Yeah, check that out. There's she posts a lot of good pictures. Like, there were some pictures on there I haven't seen before. But, yeah, so check that out on
cool.
Instagram.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah. And then there she is.
Anna.
Hi, Anna.
Anna.
Yeah.
Just in time.
Yeah, just in time. I saw it pop on. So there she is.
Racing to get here.
Yeah. You made it. Yeah.
Yep.
And where
so you can find me at
where?
At Kazi Hooch.
Yeah. Mhm. And
that's
also
cool,
check
Nikki.
out our friends.
About the wait, what's your Instagram for Leanne again? Leanne Hunley Fans?
Mhm. Yeah, I actually just had a bunch of people messaging me before I came on here because they want to know what's going on next week with them. I'm like,
oh cool.
They're going to be on 2 episodes, so I'll be posting.
Oh, good.
Yay. Yeah. After that, so shout out to at Bob Hapka and at Amy Hapka on Twitter, and also check out at Teo Penglis and at Lauren Coslow and at Kill Trip USA, which is Ian Buchanan. So they're on Twitter, and so we've had a crazy week.
First?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can I do 2 announcements first before we start?
Sure.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Can I do 2 announcements? Well, sort of announcements. Well, first of all, I wanted to give a shout-out to Lauren Coslow and congratulate her on her 24-year anniversary at Days of Our Lives.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
Not many actors have been on this show for 24 consecutive years. Well, a lot of them maybe left to do another show for a while or whatever, and she is one of the only ones that, besides like Wally, that's done she did make an appearance in the last several years. I don't remember when it was, but on either Bold and Beautiful, I think it was. At the same time she was on Days, but in terms of just like an appearance or an episode or whatever. But she's been on all this time. Now her fans, like people like me, don't think she's on enough. That's often the case, but can never have too much Kate. But just wanted to send out a shout out to her for 24 years on Days. And
thank God for that.
I know. And then since we talk sports sometimes, of course, I have to put in a pitch for my Kansas City Chiefs that are going to the Super Bowl next week.
Congratulations.
I'm so happy. Thank you. Oh, we're so excited. This whole town all the suburb. I'm in a suburb, but we're all excited. You should see everywhere you go. When I took my mom to the orthopedic surgeon the other day, everybody was dressed up in their Chiefs gear and everything. It was really cute. So the doctor still had the white coat on, but they all had there's lots of spirit going on.
How is your mom doing?
Well, that's good.
Well, I won't take up too much time here, but thanks for asking. She ends up having fractures in both of her legs from that fall about a week and a half ago, and so she came home in 2 boots, matching boots. I told her she looked like a bionic woman or something. So these big old matching boots, and then she's got a splint on one of her wrists because she injured her thumb. Didn't break it, but So anyway, so we're taking it really careful with her, hoping that she doesn't have to have surgery. So far, so good. Just trying to keep her from doing any more damage. So thank you for asking. So I was just getting her settled in for the night before I came in here. So I was racing. But anyway, so thank you. It was a little bit dealing with, hospital stuff and drama this last week, and then certainly not the worst in the world, but seeing your mom face plants on, flaps and concrete steps and stuff. But and then segue in today's, holy cow, what a deep week. I watched Monday through Thursday today. I didn't get all of Friday, so I'm really bummed about not finishing Fridays, but I did the best I could. So, oh my gosh, I'm emotionally drained. So I'll let you go from there, but I just wanted to get those out of the way.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was amazing. It was heartbreak and death and death and death. I mean, just and emotional highs and
then torture.
It was. I thought. I thought it was very. I don't know. I thought it was very well done. I mean, kind of enjoying this time jump and how they explained everything, but then it kind of opened up some new questions too about what really did happen. But. So this, the whole thing, and also some great performances too.
Oh yeah,
And
is it just
great,
me, or does it seem like Days is better than it's been for a while?
Better than it's been years.
Was so good. And let me just put out there.
The only thing that go ahead.
Oh, the actor who plays Chad, that's the most acting I've ever seen from him in all the time I've watched him. But I thought he did.
Yeah, well, that's because he had scenes with Teo.
Yep,
that's why.
Teo brings out the best.
Yeah.
Yes, that's because and that's the only thing with this whole storyline and this whole thing with Ron. The only thing I disagree with that they handled wrong was the whole Demira thing by not giving it to Tony. And let's talk about the whole. Tony and Anna were on Tuesday.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they were on Tuesday. They came, so they kind of, and they came and kind of explained where they went and what happened to them and why they left Salem. And it's because Anna betrayed Tony by going behind his back and kind of talking against him, wanting to Mr. Shin. And so, because she didn't want him to, she wanted him to go off with her, didn't want him to get involved with Demira and all that. And so he found out. And I don't know about you, but I would have thought Tony would have been a lot more pissed than what he was. And he really forgave her. And the only thing I have problem with the writers. But the writers, I'm sorry, Anna should have supported him and fought for Demira with him instead of what she did. But that's the writers. I know that's the writers' fault.
That's true.
With a way to get rid of them. It is. Yeah. But because I think it would have been much more interesting to have those two in the battle with Gabby and Kristen and Chad, because they all play off so well with each other, especially Chad and Tony, or Teo and Billy Flynn.
Kate into the mix, and that would have been really fun to have.
Well, then there's Kate too.
Tony and Tatiana, and I would have loved to have
so much they could have done with them. Just
that pisses me
and every time, that's the only thing with Ron. What Ron has done, that's what I can't understand. That's my beef.
I have to say, I posted this on Instagram, but that is the first time that Tony and Anna had a fight and made up where they didn't kiss after having a fight. Every other time in history, they've always kissed, and they did not kiss this time. And I was like,
he wasn't ready to kiss her yet.
I know.
I don't know.
But I did love.
He just forgave her way too easy. Well, that was quick.
I don't know. Who knows? They wanted to get the scene rolling.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it was. It was to get them out of Salem that quick. Anyway.
Yeah. I kind of understand
it was just
Anna.
Very hurried.
Though, because
Demira has cost her Tony for years.
Mhm.
Right.
Stefano's
She didn't want him involved.
Dropped him on an island for decades. Demira has
you can.
Anna, the man she loved for years. I mean, she's got a point. He could end up with some cement shoes with that family.
Well, even in the last run, Anna left. Anna was living in the Demira mansion with him, even though she didn't want to, and then she was always in Europe without him. Back in 2008, she could not deal with the Demiras anymore. So like it's still kind of true, but I think maybe now that he died and he came back to her, she doesn't want to. That girl is not going through that again.
Nope.
Right. And she's desperate to keep him, and right. Yeah, you can understand where she's coming from, but I don't know. I'd still like to. Anna's a fighter, and I'd still like to see her like fight for it. I think it would have been interesting, and like Anna said, even with Kate in the mix.
Yeah.
And I always think they should bring Andre back too. And if they want to send Tony and Anna away, which is great, but I still think there's room for Andre to come back, especially now since we're going to see Dr. Rolf next week again with the whole Stephen O stuff. I always say there's got to be a little bit of that serum left, so maybe, it could be for Andre. So we'll see. But, yeah. So anyway, that was they flash back to Mother's Day. This is where a lot happened on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Last year.
A lot,
and that was one. A lot happened on Mother's Day. And it's kind of how they would start in the present day, and like maybe the first show was like Justin and Sonny talking about the divorce because Will and him signed the divorce papers. And so they kind of flashed back then to Mother's Day when they were much happier, and Will and Sonny were together, and they were planning this thing for Adrienne to have a spa treatment. So we had a lot of nice Justin and Adrienne scenes. We actually had them in bed together.
I know. They got to make love before she died.
I know. I love that.
Yes, really. Yeah. And they did, they talked about their sons, and they kind of even showed some flashbacks there of them when they were together and dating. So that was nice to see. And at first she didn't want to go. Yeah. She didn't want to do it because she had to work. So. And then
I did have one question. Can I just throw this out real quick when you said work? It made me think of this. Now, I mean, I've been in positions before where I was working 7 days a week in accounting and stuff, so I get that. But what is it?
On a Sunday.
Mother's Day is Sunday, and everybody was like at work or whatever, and I was just like, that was one thing that kind of bugged me. I was just like, okay, I can get that these people probably work a lot every day, but I mean, being worried about, I guess the paper's produced every day, so I guess I can get that. But like, I don't know.
And Jennifer was in a coma.
Yeah.
And Jack wasn't there working. Yeah. Well, some people are workaholics and they do work Sundays, I guess, and that kind of stuff.
I know, but I mean, it was almost kind of like they were treating it like a Monday or something. I don't know. It was just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Victor was working and Xander was, I don't know. It was just a little bit of a pet peeve of mine, but whatever. I mean, it was an amazing week. I mean, no doubt. There definitely need to be some Emmys for this week.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Next week.
So then we had Will offered. Oh yeah, I think next week now we'll go back into the present. So, so that'll all kind of tie in. But they kind of wrapped up a lot of our questions about how did Adrienne die, how did Haley die, the baby switch, and kind of. But then, like I said, it opened like new questions too. Do you really think? We all know Will didn't do it. But do you really think that Maggie did? I was talking to Carrie, and she was thinking she believes the same thing, that Maggie didn't do it either. That Maggie was drunk and just went, you know what I mean? Xander thinks that she did it, and Will thinks that he did it. So you can redeem both of them by having, and this is what I'm thinking, and I've seen this out online too, that Summer was involved.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah, cause
whether she was driving with Maggie or she was in another car and just left the scene, and she was the one because she was drinking too when she left Maggie.
Yeah.
And my thing is, she came back like out of the blue, and I know it was a plot point to get Maggie.
That was so weird.
Yeah, they're not going to just
and
have
she looked
her
totally
come in
different
for a scene with Maggie
Yeah.
and then just
I
leave
thought
and
she was
that's
Chloe.
the last time we're going to see her.
I thought she was Chloe for a
Somebody
second.
said that.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, somebody said they thought that was
really
Chloe.
Good. She looked really pretty. She looked really pretty.
She's
like,
such a bitch.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
did
you see her with Maggie?
Oh my gosh.
Against Summer.
She was so awful to Maggie. Oh.
Yeah, so and Will had offered to work for Adrienne, okay, so he had gone into the office, and there's a foreshadowing the whole time is, you better call Sami. You better call Sami and wish her a happy Mother's Day. And everybody was reminding him, Marlena and Sonny.
Yep.
So he keeps forgetting. And, of course, then when Summer shows up, Sarah goes into labor, and Maggie was going to take her, but then Summer shows up. And she tells Maggie that she's dying of this cirrhosis of the liver, and she got her alcoholic, disease from her, so she's blaming her mother. She was really bad. She was really nasty to Maggie. Yeah, and she left the bottle there and left.
You know what? She seemed really jealous of Sarah. It almost makes me think if it was Summer that she almost did it on purpose.
Could be.
She knew she was in that car.
Could be. Yeah. I really think there's more to the story because one of the things, too, is when, they said that they kept saying Sarah thought it was a black car, where Will says he has a gray car. But he says, well, it's dark. Yeah. And, Will guessed, of course, he was texting. He texted Sami right at midnight because he didn't think that he was going to get a hold of her. And he said which is they're raising two awareness things with driving drunk and texting, which is even though maybe they eventually didn't cause the accident, it's still possible that you can if you take the eyes off the road when you're texting. Right. And he said it was just for a second, and he said, and I saw, he says, but then Will said something about, I didn't think I hit her. I thought I swerved out of the way in time, and then he ended up in a ditch. So, but he still thinks, because I guess he didn't see any other cars.
Basically, none of those cars actually hit each other. Because that's what I was confused about. At first, I was like, wouldn't they get forensic information on the paint that would have hit? So it's like everybody ran off the road. They didn't actually hit each other.
I thought Adrienne only hit something, though.
Yeah, probably a tree or something.
Somehow Adrienne. Or up against because Will saw them and was talking to, and Adrienne looked like she was okay. And then she got out of the car and then collapsed. Maybe she shouldn't have got out of the car. I don't know. She got out of the car and collapsed, and Sarah was in labor. Yeah, and then previously she had called Xander, and she, oh, please come, I want you to be there. Because he wanted to be there. She told him no at first, but then changed her mind. So he's on his way to meet them at the hospital, and he comes upon Maggie, the car, Maggie drunk, calls Victor. Victor says, get her out of there, so he gets her out, and you see her with Victor. What else? So they can save Adrienne. Oh my gosh. What did you guys think of those scenes when Kayla told Justin, but then when Justin told Sonny, or when they told Sonny?
Oh, I know. Oh, they did a great job. Oh,
great job.
Sonny's reaction and his crying and was so true.
So genuine.
And so genuine, so raw.
It was so primal.
Yeah.
It was so primal.
It was.
It really was.
It was the most true to life reaction and of his losing his mother, just like he just saw her that tragically and that suddenly. That was
by his husband.
And also with Wally too. Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the scenes with what did you think of the scenes with Will and Sonny when Will had to tell Sonny?
Will can actually act this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah. So, but yeah, that was, and then he had to tell Justin, and then Justin's reaction. And,
yeah, Wally's reaction when Will told just
Oh my God.
Crazy good.
Crazy. And then when Justin and Sonny when they went in to see Adrienne laying there, and I think I read somewhere where Judy Evans said that was so hard for her because she had to lay there still and not move while she said they were, and she does not cry either. You can't show any, and who could not cry when those two were standing there, because they had me crying for sure. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh.
I couldn't help but think of her real life loss that happened probably 6 months after she filmed that. But I was just really thinking of her, like as a person. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And she is.
I bet Wally
she is the most genuine lady.
Yes. What, Nikki?
I said, bet Wally Kurth used some of his anger to get those tears going in the scene, because Judy Evans in Soap Opera Digest talked about how upset she is about the firing, and I'm sure Wally's probably pissed off too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Judy Evans was not happy about what they did. They kind of, I guess, threw her under the bus, I guess.
Yep.
Which, she was, and I know she hadn't been on a lot, but that's not her fault. I mean, they just don't use her, which I don't know why. Because great character, but
maybe she can come back as Bonnie.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could. Yeah. So we got a lot of flashbacks. Did you want to talk about the flashbacks, Jen? I know you were.
Oh my God, they were awesome.
Yes.
I love Justin and Adrienne.
Yeah, and I remember watching them back in the day, and oh my God, you forget how young Justin with the mullet.
Oh my God.
The long dark hair.
Yeah.
I just mullet. I was there. Oh my God! And Judy Evans just looked like just so young, like really. Yeah, and I remember that on the park bench when he found her like crying, and I did all the different scenes.
What's so funny is when he said he met her on the park bench or whatever, or saw her on the park bench, I was like, that park bench is something else, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a pretty
legendary
this
was an old park bench.
I was gonna say,
but
I mean, it looks a little bit similar to the one they have now, but it's just kind of funny. It's like the magic of park benches in Salem. So, if you're looking for love, just park yourself on a bench.
Yep.
Love will find you.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was extremely well done. But, I'm sad about Judy.
Mhm. Yeah. So I hope Freddie Smith, if he has to submit an Emmy, would use those. I don't know when that would qualify, if it's the next one coming up or not. I don't know how they figure those out.
Well, it's in May, right, or June? It's in May. In May, and I believe they do. What is it? 4 months in advance. They send in something like that.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Well, like taping?
Is it when they filmed it or when it's seen on screen?
I think it's when it's seen on screen. I think. I'm just going by whatever Teo used to say whenever he was nominated. I'm trying to do the math.
Oh, you mean as far as nominations? Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, I'm like sending in
he could
the
submit this year.
Stuff. It's this year,
you think.
So it'll be in May.
Okay.
I don't know. I hope it does. That would be great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then we had the whole the babies being born on the same day, and we had
Did I not call that?
Brady and
I called that.
Yep.
Back in the I said this time Trump is going to be about baby switch. Yes, I did.
You're right. You're right.
It can't be a soap without a baby switch at some point. Another baby switch. Yeah. So Brady and Kristen go to Marlena and John's for Mother's Day, which Marlena and John were not happy about. But then finally, Marlena was the bigger person, and she accepted Kristen reluctantly, so which made kind of Brady happy. And what was funny is Kristen's water broke right on Marlena's shoes.
Oh. Deidre's face.
Yeah,
She looked
Marlena.
down and she looked up at Kristen with like the evil stank eye, and then she said, "Oh, my shoes."
Oh. What is that?
It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Payback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deidre should get
So-
nominated for that.
Yeah. So she had her baby, which was a healthy baby girl. And Sarah, Xander found them, and Xander helped, of course, deliver the baby. And the baby seemed fine. So they all go to the hospital. Mm-hmm.
Did you guys see Brady's face when Kristen was in labor and she had the exorcist voice going on?
Yeah.
He looked like he didn't know what
Kristen?
the hell to do.
No.
Yeah.
No, I know I had a baby, and I agree with Kristen. It hurts like hell, but man, she was a real big baby. She was really in. Did you think she was a little? She was kind of a little over the top, and like Sarah was like, ooh, and it was out. But Kristen was having a very hard time with it. It's really hard. I thought it was funny. You know, her labor pains and the way she reacted.
She would be
to
over
them,
dramatic, but she would totally be over dramatic. With it.
Yeah,
and every
but Brady was like, keep me away from this crazy lady. I mean, yeah, we know you are crazy. You're really crazy when you're having a baby. So I thought that was kind of funny. So so we have the babies, and there was another baby born that day too, because they said there was like 3 things in there. Yeah, and they said there was the doctors were so busy because there was a different doctor that delivered because Kristen's regular doctor wasn't there.
Yeah.
So then we have Xander and Victor come in, and they see him working on the baby. And so we assume it's the Horton baby because the black baby, you know, Brady Black's, the crib is there, but the Horton baby thing is missing. So this baby dies because we believe it's Horton baby, right? Because, you know, Xander says he's the father. And we see Victor looking, you know, oh, okay, we're going to switch. But does anyone think that maybe that third baby was the baby that died?
Maybe.
And the doctors, the hospital got them mixed up, and maybe Sarah's baby went home with this other unknown mother, and Sarah's baby is really alive too.
Ooh. Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
I didn't think of that. I read that on my group that I'm in, that people are discussing that. Somebody came up with that theory. So I thought that was very interesting.
That would be interesting.
Because my thought was, wait, this doctor should know it's a Horton baby. She should know what baby she's working on, so she should know what baby died.
Right.
So why would... Right. So they would say Kristen's baby died. She'd say, well, no, it's, you know, even though Xander switched the baby.
Yeah. How would
then, of course, Victor, somebody said, well, Victor could have paid off the doctor to shut up. You know, don't say anything. This was a different doctor. It wasn't Kristen's regular doctor. So, you know, Victor could have paid the doctor off not to say anything. So
I don't
know. But I don't know.
That was odd.
So, what do you guys think that's plausible that they're
here's my feeling.
I think so.
That would be a cool way to do it. But then remember how we always wanted Nicole's baby to be alive and it never was? We hung on to that for years.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I think
it's
the idea of Sarah's baby being
cool,
alive,
though.
but of course it would be Brady.
It would be cool if it were a win-win and it turned out that this baby that now has cancer is actually Brady and Kristen's, and then that Eric and what's her name, Sarah's baby is still alive. That would be cool.
Right.
But yeah, I just don't know
I
how
do think the baby I do think the baby that Sarah has is Brady's. But I don't think her baby is the one that died, though. I don't know. So, but now we're coming to where we're going to. Yeah. I didn't even.
All I
Somebody
can
come up
say
with
is
that
I'm
theory.
really, really glad I have 2 comments about the baby. First of all, I'm really, really glad that when Sarah looked at her baby that she realized it didn't look like what she remembered.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm really glad. And that's all.
Right.
I didn't get very far in Friday's episode, but I was very glad to see that. And to see Xander's reaction, like, oh shoot. And then and the other thing was, I felt that guest doctor, the one that was supposed to be the best in the world, you know, the best in the hospital for babies or whatever, I felt she did a little Lexi on Tony. I felt like she wasn't trying hard enough. Just my opinion. And it was like, well, I tried. I mean, you would have had a bunch of people in there. She would have been calling for help and all that. So I thought that was a little weird. I don't know. Just my opinion, but like, oh well, I tried.
And she was like
very what?
Yeah.
Very cold.
And then when they say, we did everything we could, I'm like, if it were my kid, I'd be like, no, you really didn't.
No, she didn't even try
really
anything.
Yeah, I was just like going, no, I wouldn't have been happy with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was pretty weak. But yeah, I guess so. I guess hopefully someday we'll get the answers to all of that, as far as whether or not, you know, I don't know. Oh, but that does make me curious, though, if that really. Because that would really suck. Because that would really suck, though, if when they have to figure out that Brady and Kristen are the parents of this baby, because of the
which
cancer
is going to
stuff,
happen.
I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. Then, you know, I would imagine that, you know, I don't know, it'll be interesting. I would think, you know, are they really going to have Sarah and Eric go through all that grief and everything and all that? If then it turns out that, you know, their baby is alive, that would definitely be good. But anyway, so that's my 2 cents.
Well, there are spoilers out there for that. What's going to happen? Sarah's going to go when Sarah's going to find out that baby isn't hers, and she's going to go nuts. She's going to kidnap the baby and run.
Oh.
Yeah, because they're going to have to give the baby back. Kristen and Brady's baby. Yeah, and then there's this big hunt for her.
We're going to have to wait to see that. How long is that going to go?
I don't know. I just saw that out there or read that somewhere. So I don't know. Interesting. But and then we have then Kristen. Haley's been helping Kristen, you know, with the baby and everything, and she comes in and she has to tell Kristen that something's wrong with her baby. And she keeps saying, I'm going to get the doctor. I have to get the doctor. And Kristen chases after her, and she finally makes her tell her what happened. And Kristen just is so distraught and just goes nuts. And she's at the top of a stairwell, and she pushes her, kind of says, you know, you were supposed to be looking out for my baby. You were supposed to protect her and watch over her. And she kind of pushed her, and Haley fell the whole way. That was a good stunt lady that fell down that step.
Yeah.
And she was so sweet during that whole episode. I actually kind of liked Haley in this episode. I mean, I liked her, I guess, okay, but like I thought some
her
of
and
the stories
Kristen.
she had before. But I mean, she had just she finally called Melinda mom that day for Mother's Day, and they had gone to brunch. I'd forgotten about that whole storyline that, you know, that her sister was really her mom. And, you know, and then of course JJ was going to propose. He had the ring, and he was going to propose the next time that he could get together with her and stuff. So.
Yeah. So then JJ has to go and tell poor JJ. He has his mom in a coma. He loses his aunt. Then he loses his girlfriend. And then he has to go tell Jack that his sister died. So then we had scenes with Jack, with Adrienne when he found out. And then Abby, then he wanted to go, he was trying to find Abby to tell Abby about Adrienne. So then Abby's talking to him, and she thinks that he already knows about Haley because she was going to tell him about Haley. And then that's how he finds out. He says, what do you mean about Haley? And then,
by the way.
Yeah. This is like, everybody was telling everybody this person died, that person died. It's like,
ooh, what gloom and doom.
Yeah.
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 It was serious drama. There was some drama this week.
It was a lot of drama, and then we had JJ.
It was preempted most of the week too. We all had to watch it on other avenues. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. Does anybody else have DirecTV with on demand?
Yes.
I have on demand.
Okay, I have a question
I'm on
for
demand.
you. Some of the episodes are like 37 minutes long, but they still have commercials. So I'm feeling like they cut some scenes out. Like the
my on
episode
demand
with Tony and Anna, it said 37 minutes, which is really, that's what the app usually says when you watch it on the app. But they just have a few commercials in there. But what I've noticed is they cut in and out at weird times. And, like, I kind of felt like I missed some scenes, or at least parts of scenes, especially with Tana and some of the other things. I just kind of wondered if anybody else noticed that. And then, like, Friday's episode, which I was trying to watch right before the show, it was on for, like, 59 minutes or whatever, for an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was on
Mine's
demand.
a whole hour.
I don't know.
Mine's like watching. Mine's like watching it live with all the commercials because I can't fast forward mine.
Yeah, you can't fast
mine's
forward.
An hour.
But like Nikki, on your DirecTV on demand, have you noticed that?
No, because I've been watching it on NBC.com.
Oh, okay.
But I do know.
Or you can watch them on YouTube.
They're on YouTube.
Sometimes the on-demand episodes, they don't count the commercials, the ads as the minutes. Because like DirecTV and Comcast, they'll put in their own ads, but they don't.
Right.
They don't really
count.
That.
Yeah.
I don't know if they count that, but.
Okay.
I mean, if you feel weird, try YouTube or try YouTube. You kind of have to get to right away because a lot of the users delete it after a few hours, so they don't get banned. But try NBC.com too.
Yeah, I did watch some of it on NBC.com, but I was just curious because I was like, this is so weird. I may have to go back and rewatch that episode on NBC.com just to see if I missed anything on that one because I was like, not on the Tana episode. So, yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest,
and back
I
to
feel like
the
the
Tana.
commercials are better. Yeah. What's that?
Oh, commercials are better. You said the commercials.
Well, no,
are better?
honestly, some of the commercials are better on demand, and I think they're different ones.
Okay.
They're like different. Anyway,
Yeah.
like Nikki was saying, they have their own, like they have different ones. Anyway, whatever. But
back to where the Tony and thing, the scenes with Tony and Chad where he told him goodbye. They were telling them like goodbye, and he hugged them, and that smile that Teo gave was just like, and it was so sad. It was like, oh.
Was that on Friday's episode?
That was.
Or was that all on Tuesday?
Tuesday.
No.
That was Tuesday.
Okay, then they did cut some. They did cut some scenes. I'm gonna have to watch it online. Okay.
I thought it was so cute when Anna said when she knew that he was going to follow her, but she's like, you're going to come crawling back to me, but who knows, I might be with George Clooney then.
Yes, that's cute.
Yeah.
His wife's got nothing going on.
That was cute, yeah.
And then he said, she said something about her bags are packed, and then something about he said he was going to go with her, and she's like, oh, good, because I packed your bags too. Or something like that.
Yeah,
so
she knew. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they are. Yeah, even when they're fighting, they are cute. What's up? So, but yeah, we'll see them
kiss, though.
next week. Yeah, no kiss. Well, maybe
no
next.
Kiss.
I don't know, maybe next week. Yeah, but I did see Nikki that she does get in Stephen O's face and says all these nasty things, and Stefano almost gives himself away. He can't hold it back.
Anna, she hates Stefano. So apparently Tuesday, John and Steve run into Tony and Anna. I heard they run into them in Rome because they're in Europe apparently. And then Wednesday is when I guess Anna starts bitching about Stefano, and that's when Stefano loses it and gets in her face or something. I'm excited to see Tony's face when that happens.
Yeah, should be good. If we get to see them again. So, yeah. So, did we miss anything? Oh, the scenes with JJ when he saw Haley, and he took the ring out and put. I think did he put it on? Did he sit it beside her? Or did he put it on her finger? I know he climbed up on the,
I don't
thing
think
there and was laying with her and kind of gave her the ring.
He put it on her finger. Did he put it on her finger?
Or did he put the box there? Or maybe he put the box because he took the box out and he laid it on her or something. Oh my gosh, poor JJ.
Yeah.
So, and now we know he's going to be leaving. I mean, he's still on as of right now, but he's eventually going to be gone.
He got his best material when he's leaving.
Yeah.
Hey, Anna, you know what I'm looking forward to also next week? I heard there's supposed to be a really good scene with Kate confronting Princess Gina, like calling her out.
Oh, good.
I think it's going to have to do with Marlena. I think she hears about the plan or something.
Oh, good.
I
love that. That will be good. There wasn't a Kate report this week because Kate wasn't on. But, But I know they were focusing on other aspects of the show. I get it. But that's something to look forward to. I can hardly wait.
Yeah, but can Kate just throw her off?
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Kate's involved with the whole
Gina's
Steve-O thing. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait till they. So now they have this stupid plan where to make each other think that they're dead. Like John thinks Marlena's dead. Marlena thinks John's dead.
Did you see the preview for next week, Marion?
John's.
Did you see,
was it John's hanging by a thing or something?
Hanging by the rope in the warehouse, and you hear the water dripping. I was like, oh my god.
Yes. It kind of reminds me of old scenes back when Stefano. There was when he kept them in a like that, hanging like that before. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So. Okay. Of course, then this whole was started out with Ciera coming to tell Will what Victor told her, that what they did.
And it did.
That's kind of how it ended. And that's kind of how it ended Friday, where she told him the whole story. She said that he didn't kill Adrienne, and she more or less. So the fallout from that's going to probably, I would say, be next week too.
Yeah.
So,
do you think he's going to protect Maggie?
He might. You mean by saying he's just going to stay in jail and take the rap for it? I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know how long, or maybe Maggie is the one that did it. I don't know, but I still think there's more to that.
Or maybe
because it would be like Victor said, like Maggie would she killed her own granddaughter. If Sarah's baby is dead. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not only Adrienne, but still, So.
Yeah. Double homicide.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I know Xander just goes along with Victor. He kind of doesn't want to. He kind of didn't want to with the whole Will thing because he even felt guilty about that. He said, well, what do you mean? But Will didn't do it, he said. But
and when he gave Sarah the baby, he looked like when she said something about didn't look, the baby looked different than she remembered or something. Then he looked really anguished as well, like worried, but also like oh, he didn't want to have to lie to her like that.
Yeah,
but
he's gonna think
about the baby because the baby that died, he was holding her, and I was like, oh, that was so sad.
Yeah, and because he kind of bonded, with the baby,
yeah.
And then he has to think, my God, if Sarah finds out what I did, I'll lose her. When Sarah finds out that Xander went along with it and switched the baby. Although I could see why he did it.
Protecting her mom,
Right, and also he wanted her not to have the grief of losing a baby. He wanted her to have the baby, and Victor probably just wanted to make sure that Brady didn't have.
Of course, then collateral
Kristen's
damage.
baby.
Haley goes flying down the stairs. Kristen wouldn't have been upset.
She's collateral damage.
You know, if and kill, you know, not took down the stairs if you know, she hadn't been upset like that. So
right.
Is it
I
true?
guess it kind of came out that was an accident, right? I'm thinking. Because Kristen kind of didn't go to jail. I mean, she just went off and left town, so they must have ruled it an accident. Yeah.
I'm hearing rumors that the baby's the true identity when they have Mickey being tested with the bone marrow or something, and then they find out that's. Do you think that's what's going to happen?
I think that's what's going to bring out. That they're not the parents.
Like they would have Brady. Well, what about the fact? What if they have Brady and other people like Brady, go in to be tested or whatever, and he's a perfect match or something? Or I don't know if that would be enough to prove it. But you're right. As far as the gap, what's interesting, the way they wrote it and the way they showed everything, you know, Xander and Victor were making assumptions. I mean, they didn't really have proof, but they were making assumptions, and they just conveniently heard that Will was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm the one that ran them off the road." So they're like, "Ding, ding, ding, we're gonna go with that." But like, they really didn't have proof of any of it. So,
or even Maggie, they just assumed that Maggie was drinking and caused the accident.
So you're right.
That makes it.
Because when Xander got in the car, he could smell the alcohol, but you know, but. Anyway, it's just
and also,
I don't know, but yeah,
like Sarah,
all kinds of ways.
Sarah and Adrienne, are on their way to the hospital, so they're going that direction. So if Maggie is coming to meet them at the hospital, she would be behind Sarah.
Behind them,
Like and Will was heading back to say, you know what I mean, from work, or I guess he was going in the other direction, unless Maggie was somewhere else. That's kind of what, and people were saying that too. Maggie should have been behind them.
But remember,
wouldn't have hit her head, coming at her.
Change your tire.
So.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. But still, she wouldn't have been going the opposite direction, I guess. I mean, except for if she was drunk and just didn't know
so what happened in that time? Yeah, that would have given her time to catch up, I guess, when they had to stop and change the tire, because everyone said she was still back at the. Yeah, there's a lot of different things they haven't really. I said they have now. They have more. Now you have more questions.
But they would. But still, they wouldn't have been. She wouldn't have been coming the opposite direction unless she was, I don't know.
Or
there's a lot of people.
But there's definitely a lot of different angles that can go. So I kind of like it because some of our questions have been answered, but like you said, more questions were created.
More.
Exactly. So that's really great writing. Honestly, even though we've been kind of beating up the writing lately, and especially like I have been for Kate's story, I would like to, I definitely think they did a great job on this.
On the time, yes, and how they
and
did
of course
the time
it would
jump
have
in,
to
how
be
they
a week. Well, what's so frustrating too is you want it to be a great week ratings-wise. But then I guess, do they get credit? I know. The thing of it is, I know on DirecTV, if you're watching it, like if you record it and watch it that night or whatever, it actually reports directly the data to Nielsen, so it knows if you watched it same day or live or whatever. But if you couldn't record it because it didn't air, like it didn't air in my market, so. You have to watch it on demand or on NBC.com, and I wonder if those are treated equally as far as ratings because because
they
don't
should
have
now.
I always thought
for NBC.com, it is through Nielsen ratings.
Okay.
If you watch this, I think they said within a 48-hour time frame.
Okay.
It's counted.
Okay. On NBC.com, but not on demand. Okay.
I don't know about on demand.
I don't know. Okay. Oh, anyway, that's good to know.
Anybody can think of anything else we missed that happened, or any other little
wasn't that enough
details? What's that? Oh wait, we have somebody online. Wait, hold on. Let me bring on. This might be Angela. Hello?
Hey, it's Angela. How are you?
Angela. Hey, hi, Angela. I thought it was you. I just happened to see you there. Okay, hi.
I was just listening to what y'all were saying about what gets counted, and they may count the Days of Our Lives app the same as they do NBC.com. I don't know, but I know that you get credit. The credit goes if you do watch it on the Days of Our Lives app as well as on NBC.com.
Oh, I didn't know they had it on the Days of Our Lives app. Oh.
Mhm. Well, it's NBC.
I didn't even know that.
So then you can
and I don't know quite how. I don't know who owns it exactly, if that's an NBC or if that's a Corday or if that's who really owns it, so to speak. But I know that I was reading an article the other day, and I've gotten really into watching the app. The app has got a lot of good interviews and little segments and things. Mm-hmm. It's really one of the best apps I've seen for a TV show. Seriously, they interview people that were in scenes, and it's just really interesting. Like I said, they've done a great job with it, but that gets counted too. I'm intrigued on exactly how this whole thing happened with Maggie and Will and Adrienne and so forth. It's sad that Judy Evans had to leave, and I also, hopefully we'll get to come back as Bonnie Lockhart at some point down the road. But I think also just to say, and y'all may have mentioned this earlier, is that it was so tragic. She lost her 23-year-old son a few weeks after. Yeah. So we all should be praying for her, because I cannot imagine a dramatic thing with work and then your only child, and just.
I know.
Yeah, that's just a lot to take for anybody.
I know.
And so she's so sweet. So
I know.
I know.
And she is She's the sweetest lady, and just so genuine. And
she is.
Yes.
She is.
Yes.
Back in 2010, I met her and got to talk to her for a while, and she was so sweet. I was talking about, because I had a recent death in my family. We were talking just about in general, and then she was just really sweet, just amazing. She didn't have to. I mean, she was nice. They're all very nice, but I mean, she didn't have to really engage in that conversation like she did. I appreciated that, but. Anyway, but Days, I think overall is doing well. Like I said, I know that they're I pick up some stuff every now and then off Twitter if somebody's not happy about something or other. But I still think we're in the best shape.
Can't please everybody.
Forever.
Yeah.
So
never.
That's good, and it looks.
Yeah.
So anyway, but that's fine. Like I said, I've enjoying watching it.
Yes, it's been very good.
Well, I think I think they're confident that of the plan, of whatever is coming. I mean, and I guess as confident as you can be in television, but I still think I think it's.
It got renewed again.
I think it's in good shape.
Yeah,
I know. Like I said, I think
that was quick.
It was well, and I think that the fans. From what I've read, again, I don't know anything anybody else doesn't know, but I just think that in reading the outcry of people that were watching the show, that don't keep us up in the air again another 2 or 3 months of not knowing type thing. And so I mean, because they have held out a whole lot longer before telling.
Yeah.
Yes, it's being renewed.
Yeah, it's usually
so
not till March
positive.
sometimes. If I can remember other years. Yeah.
So I think it's been really, like I said, I love the show, and just I've loved it for a long time, but I really am enjoying it. The other thing that that I would love if we had our druthers, I have of course one other thing I would like for them to do, but we'll see if that ever happens or not. But
what's
I
that?
think the couple's good. Oh, can you imagine this EJ came back?
Oh, I was going to say, I know Angela and EJ.
I forgot about him. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
There was a question on Twitter this week. I don't know who posed it, but of course I answered it. And Gail Winters on Twitter, she and I have been following each other for a long, long time. She's an EJ and Sami fan too. But they were asking, just overall, it didn't have to be a couple, but just overall, who did you feel like was the best kisser on Days? And so I don't think any of y'all answered, and I thought surely y'all would come back with Teo.
and
I
Andre
I missed that one. I missed that. I would have said that.
I know. I'll try to find
it.
I'll try to find it, and I'll forward it to you or do something. But there were quite a few EJs, and I said without a doubt. I said James Scott without a doubt. Gary Winters, immediately retweeted me and put a little heart, and then there were a lot of votes for Stefan with Brandon Barash. We got a lot of votes as well, and I like Brandon a lot on General Hospital. Yeah, so
Marion.
So they were.
Is he a good kisser?
What's that? I'll never tell.
Is he a good kisser, Marion?
I said I'll never tell. Of course he is.
Of course he is, right? Of course.
Yeah.
So like I said, I was looking for comments from you guys, so I'm gonna find that so then y'all can still reply to it, because like I said, it was primarily EJ and Sami and Stefan and Gabby, with it being Brandon Barash's role depiction, I guess, of Stefan. But anyway, I'll find it and get it out to you guys, because like I said, y'all need to vote too. Because I was looking for the Tony Andre answers and I didn't see them, so I'll be sure to forward that so y'all can respond to it. But anyway, but like I said, that's all I know is that, like I said, there's been a lot going on, and I mean, there's so many twists going on right now. There's no way anybody. I would challenge somebody to really figure out some of the answers to some of the different questions we've got.
Yeah, everybody has
about
a lot of theories going around. Yeah,
I mean, it's just been really fun. It used to be that we'd either be able to guess it easily, or we were just so frustrated that it didn't really matter what the solution was. We were just trying to get it to something else. But this is actually fun. I know some people don't particularly like the time hop, but I think it was an excellent thing to do. Like I said, I think it's made it quite interesting for everybody, and it makes you tune in. That's the name of the game. So anyway,
yeah,
but
especially
I hope
this week. I thought they did a really good job. Yeah, they did a really good job this week, I thought.
Well, and I think so much of the good things have happened with Wally Kurth. There are so many strong actors on that show. And he has consistently always, whether he was on General Hospital or he was on Days, he's done a great job. And this is just it's a tragic story right now that we're into the midst of. And then, of course, we don't know how that, of course, everyone loves Steve and Kayla. And so as Steve is in this, drama with Stefano, we don't know all that's going to go on. But honestly, it's so great for them to think up really good, interesting stories for really strong characters and strong actors. I mean, and and I think that Wally deserves that. I think Stephen Nichols deserves that. There are quite a number of actors that have been on that show for quite some time and have had some great stories and some haven't. But they've still shined through regardless of what they were given. And I think now this is going to be a great time for Wally to shine. And he seems to be a nice person too, just like Judy Evans is a very nice, down to earth person. Sounds like Wally is too.
Oh, well, I guess our show's almost over. So. Yep, for sure. So yeah. Thanks everyone.
This was a heavy week.
Hopefully we'll see what happens.
Okay.
What's that? Oh yeah, make sure you watch Friday because that was
it's
good
like
too.
It's been an emotional day watching.
Yeah. So we'll be back. Yeah, back next week. So.
Y'all take care. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Good night.
Okay, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye.